What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles, and guys, today is a bit of a rough day. Last week we had the second annual creators meetup in one of my favorite cities in the world, and that is the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. And I came back with some kind of super flu, so I missed a few days of work and I've actually been in bed. But while convalescing, I kept asking myself these really strange credit card questions, ones that could be a topic of a video. And I remember a while back, I did do a video on if I could only have one credit card. And that was a really fun topic to get into. And at the time, I also thought it was a pretty easy answer. But then I added just one little twist, and then my brain started hurting. What about this question, guys? What if you could only have one annual fee credit card? And what I mean by that is you can have as many credit cards as you want with no fees, but you only have one that carries a fee. I'm thinking that's going to change your answer. So before we talk about it, if you are new here, I talk about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, and travel. If you're interested in those things, consider becoming a subscriber. And after meeting a bunch of you guys last weekend, I can honestly say we have some seriously solid folks within this community, and I'm really just honored to even be amongst them. But if you get any value from this particular video, slap that like button so we can get it out to others who maybe will enjoy it. With all that out of the way, let's get started. So guys, it's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure the most common answer to the question, if you could only have one card, it was the Capital One Venture X. Benefits, perks, and double mile earnings made it a pretty good choice for a large amount of people. But with this new spin, is the Venture X enough? It's a great card, but here's my first consideration. Does Capital One have enough support around the Venture X? Here's an example of a competitor like the Citi Strata Premier. With the Premier, I can complement the cards with several really good no annual fee cards that will also earn Citi thank you points, like the Citi Custom Cash and the Citi Double Cash. I can also enhance that whole thing with the Citi Rewards Plus card. So that's an option, but does the Citi Strata Premier even have the firepower to be your only annual fee card? Not likely. Let's look at Amex. The Platinum card, as the only annual fee setup, provides a lot of perks, tons of benefits, insurances, the whole shebang. But how do we complement it? With the Blue Business Plus and the Everyday card? Dude, that's rough as far as earnings go. I don't think we can pick an Amex card for this exercise because they really don't offer enough no annual fee cards for a good complement. Or what about this strategy? What do you guys think of the Amex Charles Schwab Platinum card being complemented by a bunch of 5% no annual fee cashback cards? I've talked about this example in the past, and as far as I remember, it wasn't super popular amongst the viewership. I just don't think folks like to mix ideologies between travel and cashback all that much, but I do stand on the CS Platinum as your primary travel card. This gets you lounge access, travel protections and insurances, programs like fine hotels and resorts, Uber credits, and really everything we could possibly need besides points. So we would be traveling on cash. Earning on several 5% cashback cards might be overcomplicated, but I think the concept could actually be proven, if maybe only for high earners. I think there is an argument there that lower earners might not be able to earn enough cash back to travel, and it would quickly dip into their real money travel budgets. But I still like the idea, and I'm someone that doesn't mind paying for cash or purchasing points. US Bank comes to mind with the US Bank Altitude Reserve, and I think this is the same but maybe less effective concept as using the Platinum. Sure, the US Bar earns, and that could maybe even the playing field a bit. But with US Bank, you can't combine these points or that cash back. US Bank does have some banger no annual fee cards. And just off the top of my head, the US Bar earns on so many categories that the Cash Plus might just be playing cleanup with a couple categories like utility bills, cell phones, and cable. Definitely a thought though. Let's go back to Capital One. The Venture X combined with the Saver One is a super duo. And I guess you could always add cashback cards from other issuers that could create a decent hybrid travel cashback setup. And honestly, I think any of us could really kill it with any of these options, But we have one more issuer to discuss. Yes, it's the most popular issuer of all. Let's see what we could do potentially with Chase. I would prefer to use the Chase Sapphire Reserve for this exercise. Since I'm only going to have one annual fee card, I'm going to go with the premium one. Chase actually has a lot to offer as far as no annual fee complimentary cards. On the business side, we have what so many folks really seem to have just discovered in the ink train. Even though it's been an option for 15 years now. But even if we just stick to the personal side, I think we have some interesting options. The Freedom Flex will get us some rotating 5X categories, but my criticism on that one is always $1,500 a quarter doesn't exactly move the needle for me, and it's not even really close to it. I also stand on the Freedom Unlimited, just being a non-factor here in the credit card game. 1.5x just is not acceptable any longer. We have to at least mention Wells Fargo now. They have the autograph journey that definitely isn't in the same category as the premium cards, but I think we can all agree that nothing we've talked about can out-earn Wells when we include the autograph, the active cash, and the Attune card. I mean, if we're just after points, I say Wells takes this easy, followed by Citi. But that's not the question, is it? How big of a factor are the Premier card benefits to you? This turned out to really make my brain hurt because I thought it would be an easy answer. Instead, I ended up really just having to pick one. I see really good value with the benefits, perks, and protections with premium cards. And let's face it, lounges are a huge factor for me right now. So with that, I have to narrow it down to Amex Platinum, Chase, Sapphire Reserve, and the Venture X. All right. Next, go to the points earnings. Points earning is definitely a big deal to me because I like to travel international business class and I need 3 tickets, sometimes more. So of the 3 choices, Amex will likely earn the least amount of points. I like to pay cash back for some travel and I like to purchase points, but I can't purchase enough for the kind of trip I want to take with that Amex setup. So, sorry guys, the Platinum's out. So this leaves me with the CSR versus the Capital One Venture X. And I think this is where, for me, I say it's almost too close to call. They're both Visa Infinite cards. They both have more than enough protections and insurance for me. They both earn well in different ways. The Venture X does double duty as my catch-all card, but the CSR earns better on dining and travel. They both kill it within their portals, and they both have good enough for me travel credits. I think I would save a little cash on the Venture X, and I think I might even earn more points using the Capital One Duo than I would with the CSR and Chase consumer cards. But this is where we split. I don't mind applying for business credit, and I think the Chase Ink Cash is far and away one of the best no annual fee cards in the game. The other factors are as follows. I think Chase is going to build their lounge network out faster than Capital One. That's pure speculation in my opinion. Chase will actually give me a few more options that I do value, like redeeming points with a 50% boost in their portal. And as much as it pains me to say this out loud, in a world where I can't have hotel cards with annual fees, I would likely be relying on Hyatt as a big transfer partner for my domestic travel plans. Chase also allows a little more gaming than other issuers, so that could be a pretty big factor long term. And even though they don't have gold medal customer service, I can't in good conscience not consider them head and shoulders above Capital One in this department. So for me, I have to go with a card that a lot of folks think really needs a makeover, and they're not wrong. But I have to mention that this is really close, and I'll say this as well. I really value Capital One lounges. I still think they're the best for me domestically. I like free authorized user cards. I do appreciate the simplicity of using a Capital One Duo, and I really appreciate Capital One's app and interface. Capital One has Avianca as a transfer partner, which I value. Chase doesn't have it. People a lot of times talk about how you can't get cash back from your Capital One miles, but for me, this is really easy to get 1 cent per mile through the travel eraser option. Anything travel related can be redeemed for 1 mile per point after it's purchased, so that's not a problem. At the end of the day, the support cards And the options from Chase were enough to overcome the Venture X and the lounge situation as well. So tell me, what do you think? If you could only have one annual fee card, what's it going to be and why? If any creators out there watch this, take a shot, react. You only get one. I would love to hear what other folks would use, mostly for the simple fact that most of you are quite a bit smarter than me. In any case, if you want more information on some of these cards, you can check out my super cool organized card link in the description below. I'll also leave some personal links. Using my links definitely supports the channel. It allows me to provide you with this kind of content. If you have used my links in the past, I sincerely appreciate it. Now guys, if you've stayed around all the way to the end, I thank you, and I appreciate every single one of you.